What's good, Wagering World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada, and here with my co-host, my guy, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spreader? How are you today?
I'm doing great. Can't wait to break down the NBA playoffs as they continue. A couple teams took big 3-2 leads last night. I think the NBA wants a 7-game series though, so let's jump into it. Or actually, we'll do yesterday's news first.
Let's get
Um,
yesterday's news.
Easy win. I had the Heat. Easy win. I
Easy
talked
one.
about 735 from three. It wasn't going to happen again. Actually, they were only 13 of 33 from three, which is better, right? But the big difference was that their 2-point shots were so much better. They were 46 of 85, I believe, which is 52.3% from the field. And if you let a team shoot over 50% in the playoffs at home, you're probably not going to get the win, as the 76ers lost by 25 points. And I think, everything's catching up to Embiid. He's got a sprained thumb. He's got a broken orbital. He's never been the best conditioned guy to begin with because he can't stay healthy long enough to keep himself in shape. So you combine that with just the fatigue of having to get out there on playoff style basketball, and it seemed to catch up to him last night. Did you see the same thing? And do you think
I
he gets
actually
it
was
back for a
text,
game six?
I was actually texting a buddy about that because he was talking to me about it and was like, "Man, Embiid, he didn't have an MVP performance," and I told him, "Hey, you try putting on that hard plastic mask, having a broke face, and then someone with the strength of Deadman slapping the ball into that mask, into that broken area on your face, and you see how you play the rest of the game." I'm sure he had unbelievable pain in his face the rest of the game, and I kind of think that kind of set the whole day. And it wasn't a foul; it was all ball.
Yeah, he hit
But
the ball into his face. Yeah,
unfortunately for him, no, that's the worst thing that could have happened. You know what I mean? With that mask
yeah.
on top of it, the mask is already hard to prevent him from getting injured in case somebody, reaches or pokes or whatever. But if you have pressure against it from that basketball and the strength of Devin's hand, that's almost like somebody just punching you in the face with the mask off. So I'm sure that really was painful. And you saw how long he stayed on the ground. That's a 7 foot, 300-pound man rolling on the ground like a baby. That couldn't have been too enjoyable for him. So I think that kind of affected his performance. But now that combined with already the other stuff, and then I don't know why he goes and dives into the stands trying to catch a ball and try to throw it back in and almost hurt himself again. Once again, he plays so well like a guard that sometimes I think in his mind he forgets how huge he is. And dude, you have no business diving out of bounds. I remember when Shaq used to try to do that stuff, and I used to be like, what is he doing? Because when you got that type of weight, one, you're going to hurt someone in the crowd if you land on them. Two, you're going to hurt yourself because if you land wrong, that's a lot of weight coming down on your limbs, whether it's your arms or your legs. So Embiid is definitely banged up, but he's also not doing a really good job of protecting himself either. And that was just unfortunate what happened with him getting hit in the face. But as you said, that was one of the candies that the book is giving out. We were both all over it. I sent that bet out to my clients at like 7 in the morning when it was like 3.5. It went down to 2.5. Remember, we laughed about it. I was like, man, they're bagging people about to get everybody just bust up because what they're hoping is they got these people who are watching these lines and are more worried about the lines than the actual play. And they bagged all of those people. I know anyone who took the Sixers +3 last night was like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, as soon as the game got into like the middle of the first quarter, because the whole thing was just a trap, just to try to get people. They already knew that if they put a certain number out there, it would confuse a couple of the people who consider themselves quote unquote sharps, and they would be on the Sixers. And I'm sure it worked for them, but for us, we see straight through it. There was no way we were taking the Sixers, as horrible of a road team the Sixers have been this year. We're going to take them at the Heat. The Heat, like we said, have been on fire at home. They're a great home team. They're the number one seed. It's a must-win game. That number was way too short given out by the books.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. So, and we'll get into that one a little more tomorrow night, what we expect for him and if he bounces back. Second game was pretty boring too.
So
Once
boring.
the Mavericks allowed the Suns to come back at the end of the first half, I knew it was over because the way that game was going, it felt like the Dallas needed like a 10-point lead to feel safe.
Yep.
And once they gave Phoenix, it was opening. It was, it was just like, turning on a faucet and just everything went from there. So Be interested to see how Game 6 goes, though. This is 2 series where every team has won the home game. So just because these 2 teams looked bad last night doesn't mean we can count them out for Game 6. So give us a little time to break those down. Looking forward to talking about that tomorrow.
I think Dallas bounces back next game. We'll talk about it tomorrow, though, but I honestly do, because as I was tweeting a little bit earlier, and sorry, guys, on the bonus, we came up a little short on CP3 due to the blowout. He didn't really shoot that much. He doesn't look too healthy. He looks like he's on his last leg, like he's finally catching up with him. He bent over yesterday. I saw a big bald spot on the back of his head. I said, oh, God, CP3's falling apart right in front of our eyes.
Well, he is 37. Point guard shouldn't be playing at 37.
Yeah, he's out there, and he could tell I guess he needs a new supply of whatever he's taking, because he doesn't look too good, man. And if they come into the series like they're looking right now, the Warriors are going to get them a gentleman's sweep. I guarantee you. It's no way that they can perform the way they're playing against Dallas. I actually hope Dallas can somehow squeak this series out, because I actually believe Dallas would be more competitive against the Warriors and give them more pushback than I think the Suns would at this point, just strictly because how important CP3 is to that lineup. And he looks like he's really, really wearing down, man, really fast. He's like evaporating right in front of our eyes. He's going from dominating 4th quarters in the first round and looking good a couple games to then it was like every other game he plays well. Now he's had like 3 or 4 games straight in a row that were horrible, man. He looked like a shell of himself. So we'll see how all of that goes. Let's get into the ball and parlay tonight and give you guys our picks for this evening. What do you got tonight, Spread?
All right. I think this is my favorite bet on the board, the Warriors and the Grizzlies. I'm not going to take a side here. The Grizzlies, the Warriors had 3-1 in the series. Grizzlies are 3-1 against the spread in the series. So they have been covering. The number's 4. I'll be honest. I thought it was going to be higher, and I thought I was going to be on the Grizzlies here. I think they did a good job here of setting this number. A number they're having problems with is the total. The total was 223 in Game 5, finished at 199. They moved it down 5 points, and I just don't think it's enough. I think their original projections were way off, especially this team without John Morant. They are going to play slower, and their defense is going to be better. So you combine the lower pace, increased defense, because Ja's a great scorer, but he's their biggest liability on the defensive end, right? So I see another under here. So I'm going with the Warriors and the Grizzlies under 218.5.
I like that a lot. On that game, though, I'll be on I'm giving it as a lean, guys. You could play it if you want. I'll be playing. I like Memphis first half +2. I think that they come out excited. They come out with desperation. They've been scrapping.
They got the janky refs in that one too. That's another one I didn't want to get.
They got the extender.
They have Zarba and Brothers.
Okay. They are. I thought they had the extender.
Brothers was the original extender. Foster became the extender this year. For as long as I've been betting basketball, Brothers was always the extender.
What do you know that Foster, John Morant hasn't lost against the spread this whole season when Foster's been the ref?
Yeah, but I don't think John Morant's coming back. Even if
I'm saying if he would have played, that would have let me know really Memphis, because whatever it is, he has a fondness for
their buddies. They be bumping the same music.
Yeah, something. You saw the other day when he was in there, and he didn't know who was that he saw, and he didn't know who he was.
I don't think I knew him either, so I couldn't. I don't.
You didn't know who the hell he was either, right?
I don't know who he is.
But he can't rap worth a damn. So
it's a rapper. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think his PR people are paying somebody to try to keep his name buzzing, because with that Young Thug stuff that's going on with him getting that case that they pending against his label, some stupid reporter asked, well, we thought Jack Harlow would be involved in the case. I'm like, Jack Harlow? What does he have to do with this? So, hey, maybe I'm about to loop. Maybe I'm just an old man now, but I just don't see Jack Harlow hustling with Young Thug anywhere. So, but anyway, back to the game. Yeah, I like the Memphis because they're scrappy the first half +2. And the Warriors tend to come out lackadaisical at the beginning of the games. You know how they are. With this team, they know that they can beat them, that they pretty much got the series wrapped up. It's just about when they want to do it. So I think they're going to wait and try to turn it on in the 4th quarter again. My pick is I'm staying with my Celtics, man. It's a huge number. And the way that I see that number is that they're asking you to take the Bucks, because why would you want to lay 5 points against the best player in the league right now, Giannis? In those type of spots with LeBron back in the game, I used to always jump on LeBron. So I could see anyone who would really think about taking the Bucks because it's a large number. But I see it as quite the opposite. I think that the reason that number is out there is because they're trying to get money on the Bucks. I think the Celtics dominate this game. I think that they've came up with a strategy now that they know give the Milwaukee a lot of problems. Budenholzer is getting out coached by Coach Udoka. And Coach Udoka, did you hear about Budenholzer? They asked him, Budenholzer, however you say his name, they asked him, hey, do you remember Celtics coaching with you at the Spurs? And he was like, nah, I was gone at the time. I was in Atlanta. So they asked the Celtics coach. He was like, oh, yeah, we were there a whole year together. So I don't know how kindly Coach Udoka is going to take that. So maybe he'll really be pushing his team to go ahead and put the smack down today. The others for the Bucks have not showed up. We haven't had a Bobby Porter sighting yet. Drew Holiday is a second-tier Robin. He's not a top-tier Robin. So whereas the Celtics have a top-tier Robin in Jaylen Brown, he might be the best Robin in the league right now. So I really like the Celtics to do it. I like the cohesiveness they play with. I like the fight. I like the defense. I don't expect Al Horford to go for 30 again, but I expect a bigger game from Jason Tatum. I don't know about Jaylen Brown. He seems like since that hammy little scare that he had, he hasn't looked as explosive, but he still was playing good defense last game and giving effort. Any word about Robert Williams yet?
I'll double check. He was questionable when I did my NBA show earlier. I want George Hill to be out. His minutes are terrible. No, he's still questionable.
And he's taking minutes from a kid who was hooping. Carter's a good player, man.
It's terrible.
Yeah, at least Carter can make a three. You know what I mean?
So, I want to see, George Hill, man. That's honestly, I love the Bucks. The reason I'm not betting him tonight is because George Hill.
Oh, he's
projected to get over 20 minutes by these DFS sites, and when I saw that, I said,
"Oh yeah, Coach Bud says he trusts George Hill. That's why he's taking all of Carter's minutes." And
unbelievable.
They were actually playing really well with Carter coming off the bench. When he was coming in, they were. I'd love to see the plus minus because from my eyes watching the game, when he came in, he was giving them a nice little burst of energy. He's a real scrappy little kid, man. Plays some defense and he can hit a three. Whereas George Hill's on the back end of his career, and he isn't like
he's small, man.
And it's not like he's a lights out 3-point shooter. It's not like he could Giannis could kick it out to him and you can count the bucket. Whereas in the other kid, he's a decent 3-point shooter. You got to really kind of worry about him. So I don't know what Bud's on. Like I said, he's a half a foot from never coaching this season. He would have been at home. I feel like if KD
he probably would have got a job.
I don't know.
Yeah, because if you're like a team like the Kings or the Magic,
it's his third retread, man. It would have been his third retread. He already was the Hawks.
But he's an NBA champion.
Nah, with everything that's going on right now, man, they would have.
He made the Hawks a good regular season team. Then he got the championship with the Bucks. He'd get a job.
I'm not saying he wouldn't. I just think he would have maybe had to wait a year. He would have maybe sat out a year, But I'm not saying he would have never got an NBA job. I just don't think immediately after. If last year they would have lost in the first round to the Nets, after that, it would have been a whole different story, So he's being exposed, and we're going to see what type of coach he is tonight when he goes to Boston, because the coach staff of Boston have been having their way with him, in my opinion. Great clapback last night by Monty Williams, making adjustments. Biamu came in and played big minutes. Whoever knew that would happen. So that's a great job by him to match Jason Kidd. Now let's see, can Coach Buds match Coach Udoka? Anything else for the people spread?
No, I'm looking forward to tonight. I'll be rooting for the Bucks. I have them to win the series still. So, but I don't know. That game 4 really crushed me. So I figured the only way, well, not the only way, but very, very likely, if the Bucks recover, Drew Holiday has a bounce back game. And as bad as down as I was on him, man, he did this a lot last season too, where he looked terrible and then he bounced back. So maybe he bounces back tonight. We'll see how it goes, but definitely interested to watch both of those. And I definitely love that under bet too.
I just think that the Celtics have been the best team in this series 3 or 4 games. Even the game that they lost to Milwaukee, It's just they played a better game. They just didn't win. You know, sometimes you can. That's why I was so on them the last game, because sometimes you could lose a game and still win. You know, where you could feel like, hey, we were in position to win this game. It's just that we need to change just a little bitty tweaks, and they've been that way the whole game, the whole series. The only game they looked bad was game one, and I think after they shook out those jitters, now they think they have the Bucks number. I'm sorry for you. For your bet on the future. But I just like the Celtics tonight, man. I actually like the Celtics to come out the East now, actually. So we'll see how it goes, man. As always, we appreciate you guys for tuning in to the Wagering World. We're sorry we got up a little late today. Once again, scheduling conflicts, but it's okay. We're going to get it to you in enough time to still make a smart bet and get your wager in for the Celtics. By the time this gets up, you'll have about an hour and a half for tip. Follow my guy Spread Astaire at Spread Astaire. And also subscribe to his YouTube channel, which is Spread Astaire. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is 5-Star in Vegas Sports Investments. And also follow me on Twitter at 5-Star in Vegas, spell out the 5. Please subscribe to SCOON TV. We're on there Monday through Friday. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. The best of luck tonight.